bait right there. Alright, kiddos. Now, before I even slap this thing on, there's some stuff I forgot on the head that I need to do. I did get my gaskets for the high pressure fuel pump, although they're a little bit different. The gasket that comes on the car is like a metal one, a stamped metal one, and the one I got is like a material. So it's not quite the same as this, but it should work. Here's what I received, Felt Pro. It is, nope, I lied to you. It is metal. I couldn't tell. It has like a fabric over top of it, but yeah, it is metal. There's also a O-ring that goes around the pump shaft, so I'll go ahead and replace that too. I don't think it was bad. The valve cover gasket on this thing, it felt pliable until I got to the exhaust side of the valve cover, and then it was hard plastic. Okay, I was picking it out. So this valve cover gasket was not good on this. So here's the O-ring, which looks fatter than this one, but I think that's because it's smushed. Let's shut off there. That O-ring's actually still pliable. It's still in pretty good shape, but we're going to replace it anyway since we're in here. Putting assembly oil on pretty much everything. All these O-rings and stuff, I'm putting assembly oil on before I'm putting them back together. It just helps everything slide together a little bit better. A little bit of lube goes a long way. There's that. New O-ring, new gasket. I can throw this on. The other thing I forgot to put on this whenever before I put the head on was there's two cam sensors in the back of the head. I'll get those off camera. They're just 110mm, and it would have been a lot easier to do it with it off the car, but it's on the car now, so we're not taking it back off, so we're just going to slap that in there. But I didn't review that scanner, and there's something that I want to do to my Cadillac. My steering is not perfectly centered. It's just a tad to the left, and I mean, it's just me being picky, but they have electric steering on them, and you can do an alignment on the steering and straighten that out. So I'm going to hook that scanner up and do a steering alignment on mine, and then we'll take it for a drive and see if it worked. If it didn't, we'll do it again. This scanner, I like launch scanners. I think they're good equipment for the price. I've used them in the past. I like the system on them. They work really good. This one has a lot of features. For the $300 range, you're getting about as many features as I'm getting on this $800 X-Tool one, except for there's no Bluetooth dongle, and I'm not sure how long you get updates and stuff like that. All right, we're going to get to that computer, but I put the high pressure fuel pump on, the guard for it, which words were said. It's on there now. The gasket and that plastic housing on the back of the cylinder, I did that. I can't really video that stuff back there, so and then I loosened up the 2 bolts that go to the grounds over there, because I'm going to have to get to those eventually. Everything on the back side of the motor, that and those 2 sensors, they're all in. This sensor's plugged in. This one's not, because it comes off of this harness here. That, and I put the belt assembly back on with the pulleys and all that. So all that's done. We are down to exhaust and intake. The only thing I'm missing is, I think it's this gasket. I got both of them, and I'm waiting on one of them to come, and I think it's this one, because I'm pretty sure the other one is bigger. Yeah, this has to be the other one. Way bigger than that. So it goes down there on the downpipe. But yeah, when I get that, it'll go in. More stuff I'm probably going to do off camera, because it's like impossible to video, is going to be the bracket on the bottom of the intake manifold. That's next near impossible to video or get to. There's 2 bolts down there I got to get in, and I got to get them over these studs, so I'm not going to video that either. But we got to put the valve cover on, intake manifold, and stuff like that. But let's get to this computer. So it's going to come in a box like that. It's going to have a nice carrying case like this. I normally, for the carrying case, I think it's a little bit of a gimmick, but you know, because this goes into the cost of the unit. So, but I don't know how they pack so much stuff into this thing, including having a case. But there's the case. All your cords are locked in this side, and the manual. All right, so this is going to be fun, because it's hot as balls outside, and my car has all black interior. And you can't have it running to do this to start out with. So this scanner has a camera on the back for taking photos. It has a stand, a kickstand. I like this style because you can hook it on the steering wheel and set it on there like that. Takes a USB Type-C for charging, and then your regular OBD2 socket here, because this is not a Bluetooth scanner, so you saved money on that to have more features. Here's your regular cord, and then there's international power cord there, and then there's the regular USB charger. And for the purpose of me not dying of heat exhaustion, I'm gonna start the car to start this anyways. Oh, it's like a hot fart coming out of this thing. I opened the door and the heat hit my face. We're gonna plug in right here. And this scanner also has its own built-in battery, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it on right now. It has a nice bright screen. It's so hot in here, it just like fogged this screen over. So this thing, I think I tap diagnosed, so it's already went through the VIN reading and is going through a health report, so we're going to do that on this right now. I don't think that there's any problems with mine, but maybe there's something I don't know about. It seems to be scanning everything relatively fast. Uh-oh, body control module fault. So although I'm not showing any warning signs on my dash and my car drives fine, I do have some fault codes on this thing, surprisingly. I have a whole bunch of codes for the trunk. I wonder if I didn't plug some of that stuff in. It's showing my trunk lamp control circuit's open, my backup lamps are open, my license plate circuit short battery, license plate lamp. Oh, yeah. You know what? I bet you they're all stored codes from whenever we had it all apart. Because it's also showing the license plate lights are out, and they're not. Okay, so we can clear all that stuff. That's stuff from whenever I had the car apart, stored as history. I'm gonna go ahead and clear this, and we'll see if anything comes back. So it's going through. No, not on the radio. Keyless entry. Okay, I still have one. Security code not programmed for the for electronic control unit software. Security code not programmed. I don't know what that is. It's not hurting anything. So you can do a battery report here, and you can test your battery. Battery health test, start system test. That's for like start-stop vehicles. Charging health test, and a report. I like the reports this thing generates too. It's pretty nice. Other modules. So there's the camera on here. There's remote connection. You can TPMS sensors. On resets, this thing has so much. I think this thing has more resets than my X-Tool scanner. So you have air fuel reset, brake, oil, steering angle sensor, battery, bleeding, so that's like your ABS bleeding. It runs the pump. Electronic throttle relearn, TPMS reset, diesel particulate filter reset, regen, EGR adaption, AC system relearn initialization, add blue reset. As you can see, like I can go through this, but the reset functions on here are ridiculous, the amount that there are on here, and it does a lot of like newer stuff too that my other one doesn't do. Intelligent cruise control system, that my car doesn't have that, but I don't have a scanner that does that yet. High voltage battery, I don't have one that does that. This has the immobilizer, so you can program keys with this thing. Just a lot of features packed into this thing for the price. That's where I'm getting at. So now I'm going to go into the Cadillac system. I'm going to go into the power steering module, and I'm going to relearn the steering angle on this thing, so it'll recenter my steering wheel. Tell you what, before I jump into this, I'm going to drive down to an open parking lot so I can do this procedure on this thing. So I'll show you why I'm doing this in the first place, okay? So driving straight right now, you can see my steering wheel is not straight. It's slightly to the left. I also want kind of an angle, but yeah, that's driving straight. All right, so I'm in an open church parking lot now. This is how I drove in straight. We're gonna try to correct this. Turn the engine off, ignition on. So to do that, you shut it off, push and hold the button in without the brake, and just hold it in and there until everything powers up. That's how you turn the ignition on. Make sure it's in park. I'm going to straighten the wheel out now. So that's how I want it. Right like that. Start the engine. Center of the steering wheel. Turn the steering wheel to the left and hold. Hit the mechanical stop with 7 pounds of force for 3 seconds. Then turn it to the right and do the same thing for 3 seconds. Then return the steering wheel to center. Press OK when completed. So we're going to do that right now. So 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. And then hit OK. Okay, partially learned. Continue. Okay. Soft stop learned. Soft stop learned while driving. Drive the vehicle maintaining a steady speed greater than 3 miles per hour. Turn the steering wheel to the left. Apply greater than, and turn it to the right. We're going to do it while we're driving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Learned. Continue. Procedure performed successfully. So I don't know if it's straight now or if I just learned my stops. Let's find out. Go to the edge of this parking lot and head back. And it should center itself when I'm driving straight. That, okay. It just relearned. It didn't straighten my wheel. How do you do that? Actually, maybe it did center it. I think it did center it. Let's see. Yeah. That's pretty straight. This thing, you can do live data with it, you can read signals with it, you can do graphs. Launch is the only scanner that I actually personally bought. My first one was a Launch and I really liked it. So if you want to get your hands on this, C-Reader, Creator, however you want to say it, Professional 919X, go down to the link in my description. There should be a discount code down there. If not, there will be a discount right on the page for this unit, and get yourself one of these if you don't have a scanner. This is one of their good one to get if you're going to get a first one and you want to be able to do a lot of things. This is going to be it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I sold those patch panels for the bedsides of the C10, and the guy's coming to get them. I got to go meet him real quick. More money in my pocket, even though I'm losing money on them. I believe I have everything here and on that needs to go on. I'm going to clean the surface one more time because I was putting my hands on it here and there. Also, let's go ahead and throw this heat shield on because I remember that this is next to near impossible to get on and off the car once you have everything on. So, do that. Now, I want to get that valve cover on so we have the motor closed up and nothing else is going on there. Also need to put the spark plugs in so we can get that out of the way so it's definitely closed up.
How long do we gotta stay here for people we don't know in one lines?
Now, before I do set this valve cover on, I am going to apply a little bit right at the surface of this timing cover because we milled the head down, so the head actually sits a little bit lower. As you can see, the timing cover, there's a little bit of a lip right there. So I'm just going to add a little bit of silicone right on those edges before we put it back together.
Fast cars and who knows who. Yeah, I know what they want to say. They're gonna ask me if I'm gonna make it. I don't care if I'm gonna have to fake it, as long as I can be real with you. You're leaning into me, saying stay with me a while. If we leave right now, we can go to a going and gone. So take me home, we can run away to another place, somewhere we can be alone. Take me home and get you elevated till we're levitating, and you know
That's looking nice. So I can throw the whole intake side on. New gaskets for that right there. Let's go ahead and throw that on there. So I really think this head gasket kit I got that comes with the bolts, the head gasket, the intake manifold gasket, and the exhaust manifold gasket should be revised, because obviously more things have to come off than just those. Especially here, I think a lot more gaskets should be included. In the valve cover gasket, I think all of those should be included. Does somebody make a kit like that? A head gasket kit, but it comes with every gasket that I've replaced so far. The one on the back of the head. Like, there's a lot of stuff here that I had to purchase separately because it didn't come with the kit. Anyways, pretty sure that was leaking. I don't know if it's just me being old school, but these plastic intakes, yes, I know they're efficient for thermal efficiency because they don't get as hot and stuff like that, and they're light. But I always thought an aluminum intake manifold always just looked the part and looked better. They just look good on there. Sure, they probably, you know, absorb more heat and there's more heat that goes through them, but I think they look better. But anyways, I'm going to throw this back in and then get yelled at by my wife.
What?
Huh? Because I didn't go take a walkie walk with her. Have a good day, hon. Love you. Alright, now that I got a contact high from brake cleaner, got it wiped down fairly good. While I'm under here, just thought about it, I'm going to go ahead and throw the new oil filter on, because then I don't have to put it back up. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that on, then we're going to get back up on top. I did already throw the vacuum pump on the back side of the motor, and it's going to be time to hook the wiring harness back up. Then all we have left is the exhaust. I don't want to, I'm going to have to put it back up anyways, because I don't want to put these in yet until we get everything up there done, and then we can put those in. Those two bolts are sitting right there. And yeah, it's looking pretty clean. I cleaned, I mean, it was nasty. In fact, it kind of ran back the transmission pan there. Let me wipe that too. That's better. This thing is just, it's getting a new lease on life, because this thing would not have gotten fixed. A lot of people would just been like tossed it because of the head gasket and the electrical problems and stuff like that. This thing's gonna be good when I'm done with it, so it's gonna be a good vehicle for somebody at some point in time eventually. This car better thank me. Oh, that's grimy. It's starting to look more gooder by the minute. So this coolant tube right here goes over to the turbo, and I don't want to route it over until I have the turbo in place. So I don't know. It's like, do I just use that gasket? I have the one, but do I just use that one and roll with it? It's the only one I'm missing, and it was only a couple bucks, so maybe I just roll with that gasket. If it leaks, then I'll put the new one on. I kind of want to put this back together. I want to get it together. Another thing I'm missing, I don't know what that plug goes to, but I'm sure I'll figure it out here. It's like it's like Legos, okay? You just go through it and everything just kind of fits together, but I don't remember where that plug went. I'm looking around like there's nothing right there for it to plug into that I know of. Did I miss something? I don't think I did. Let's try to get this new flange gasket on, because like this is, I'm down to this. I did get that bracket on. Like I said, vacuum pump, grounds are on. Technically I could almost start this thing right now, but I'm not gonna do it. Don't have power hooked up yet, but the whole intake's on, all that stuff's done. Belt drive's on, all the sensors, everything's hooked up except for whatever that is. I felt like this was worth showing. I'm cleaning up this intake. Right there's where the PCV valve goes in, and it was just caked with gunk. I've been spraying brake cleaner in it, and it's still, this comes out of this, and then clean this up, clean the intake tube up. I just wanted to show you that this thing was burning heaps of oil because it was just blowing straight through the PCV valve. And I said that, but yeah, it's nasty. I just got all this together, and then I realized what that plug was. That's for the direct injection, the injectors, and the plug. I don't know what I did. It was buried in there. So give me some time to see if I can fish the direct injection plug out. If not, I'm gonna have to take the intake manifold back off. But yeah, I was looking and trying to figure it out on my own. And now that I have it completely back together, I just now remembered. Is it? I can't be the only one that does this stuff. So I'm gonna fish it out if I can. Might have to take that throttle body off. It might give me enough room to get in there and find it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll get back to you. Boy, that would have been a fun start without the injectors plugged in. Wouldn't have started. I would have been furious. Anyways, I'll get this thing back on here. Maybe we ought to clean it up. How about I throw some bolts down into the abyss? Yeah, I'm going to clean this up a little bit and then throw it back on. And hopefully got everything plugged in now. A little more better. My light died. I was about ready to hang it up for the night, and I'm like, I'm so close to getting this thing started. So what we're going to do, I'm going to throw some fresh oil in this thing. I'm going to throw the antifreeze that I took out of it back in it. And we're going to take the fuel pump fuse out, and we're going to crank this thing over and get some fresh oil in it. Then we're going to put the fuse back in, and we're going to fire it up. I was so mad at myself a minute ago. So I put fresh oil in this. I put antifreeze in it. While I was dumping oil in, the funnel moved, and I dumped some oil, fresh oil, down over the side of the engine. That's why I was so mad at myself, because it was like I got this thing so dry and clean, and then I dumped oil on it. So, yeah, there's that. Antifreeze, oil's in it. I got to find the fuel pump fuse. It should be in this fuse box. If I can figure out how to open this thing up. Okay. Where's that? All right, so it's looking like fuse 37 in the trunk is the fuel pump. So let's go back to it. 37 in the trunk. This diagram's a little confusing for me. Here we go. 37 fuel pump. Yeah, 37. 37 is okay. So there's a couple rows right there. 37 is going to be that bottom one right here. Is that the bottom one? Yep. That's going to be it right here. All right. 20 amp. 37, 20 amp. Okay. So now, I'll hook the thing back up. Of course, I don't have a 10 back here. Okay. So we have fresh oil in it, and we have coolant in it. We're going to get in it, and we're going to crank it over and let it crank for a little bit. Hopefully. Okay, so because of that fuse being out, it is not going to let this thing fire. Really? Alright, so we have... I could unplug the injectors. I mean, I just had them unplugged. That would just let all the fuel return back to the tank. Let me try this again. Now see, I was just setting it up for myself. That's why I left that unplugged originally. Because I was trying to set it up for myself. You know what? Another reason why it probably is not starting. There's a couple grounds here that are main grounds too that I have. Yep, that would be it. Regardless, I have the injectors unplugged, so we should not fire, but that was the main reason why it did not want to play nice. It's about time for me to go to bed, guys. This thing's dead. Oh, I'm telling you, it's. I've wore out my welcome out here. All right, I'm gonna double it up. I'm gonna go ahead, take that fuse out again, but I have no doubt this thing will start. And by start, I just mean crank over. I don't mean actual start. So, let's try this again. Oh, maybe it was that dang food. Are you really? Are you gonna do this to me? Oh. I hope it sounded weird for a second, and I hope it didn't jump a tooth. But it also could be because there is no oil in the engine right now. Okay, we're going to do this one more time. It's starting to sound better because I think it's pumping the oil up into everything. Okay, now let me plug everything back in, and it's gonna take a couple tries, but we're gonna try to get this thing fired. We're plugged in here. Have the fuse in the back. Let's try this a couple times, and there's probably going to be a lot of smoke, but why is all-wheel drive off? Guess we'll have to figure that out later. Now there is going to be smoke because there's going to be coolant in the exhaust from it burning it before, but we need to let this thing run. It sounds good. Until right now. I don't know what happened. This is a new one by me. Maybe it got air in the line? I don't know. Woo! She's burning off. She's burning some fumes. I'm gonna let this thing run for a little while, smoke up the garage, and then I'll get back to you guys. Alright, so this thing kind of sounded weird. It was because it was on reduced power because of me unplugging the fuel pump and stuff. I cleared those codes, and now it sounds normal, okay? So the only thing left is a heat shield right here, and I gotta put that whole window tray, or the wipers and the tray in there and all that stuff, and I'll get to that because I gotta put some silicone on it before I put it in, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. So the only codes left are lost communication codes from like the headlights, the wipers, and stuff like that. So I think we're golden. Also, I want to add I spilled coolant too, as well, because I overfilled that bottle and then I had to take the funnel out. So yes, I'm 2 for 2 right now. It missing the hole.
Oh, behave.
Ask your mom, she knows. But anyways, if you like this video, smash that like button, consider subscribing, hit that dislike button if your mom wants me to hit the hole. And we'll see you on the next episode on Wreck.
These guys were so excited I come in from the garage. Weren't ya? He's so excited. Hi, Sheldon. Oh, okay. He was excited, wasn't ya? He was chirping. He chirps when I come in from the garage. He's been chirpy all day. Where'd he go? Yeah. Oh, you. Jeez. Stu, man, did that just scare you? You scared yourself. You need to watch your footing, man. You lost your footing. Stu, are you okay? You traumatized? Of all the cats, Stewie is the most scared. He's scared of everything. Aren't ya? But he's also the best kitty. He's a good kitty. And she is the most angry kitty. She's always mad at the other kitties. Not me. She likes me. You want some bye? Hmm? My wife got this. Look. Look. She got an attitude.